evidence that the fringe has finally been cut. Yeah, this is the final fringe. Thank you. It does look a little bit pudding bowl for my liking, but it's nowhere near as bad as it has looked previously when I've tried to cut my fringe. And given that I am not a professional hairdresser and this has been done basically after watching one YouTube video, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, my fringe is no longer in my eyes, it's not getting in my way, it's not annoying me. I'm going to take that as a win. Every little thing, every little win you can take, I'm taking it. Hello, good afternoon. I'm back out in my garden, enjoying the sun, getting my daily dose of vitamin D, despairing at how much stuff I need to do. I washed my hair this morning, so this is the natural drying process, which is good. There seem to be more bees here today than I've seen in the last couple of days, which is nice and encouraging. I even saw a wasp. Don't think I've got it on camera. James is upstairs making bread at the moment. And yeah, this morning I basically had a long lie-in, so I've done pretty much nothing. Yeah. Yeah, the accidental sycamore tree is growing again. So this came down from a seed from a neighbour's garden, and I didn't pull it out when I should have done. And it's actually landed itself right next to the compost heap, which is why it's growing. There's a stump of where the tree was originally, which we tried to chop down. The roots are actually underneath the compost heap. And it looks like us trying to chop the thing down to a stump. All that's happened is that new sprigs have built up and have grown up. Well, we have said to the neighbours who generated the tree, for want of a better phrase, that they can have this one. The original tree that this sprung from has now been cut down. So I did say that if they want this one to replace the one that was cut down, they're more than welcome to it, but they've declined. But yeah, we do need to do something with that before it grows, because initially when it grew, it was actually taller than me. I'm 5 foot. So it was, yeah, a decent size sapling, which we just didn't get to in time, and I don't think we're going to be able to get to that one in time either. Frustration, I have gone through and picked up more sticks in the box, a lot more full than it was the other day, and all of those are leaves from there, so it still looks an absolute mess, but it's a bit better. Absolutely typical, isn't it? I had my phone balanced just where I needed to be, and then it fell over, and oh my word. There you go. Don't move, don't breathe, it's fine. So it's fair to say that the bread did not come out quite the way we expected. The mix we were using was for home baking, so the instructions on the side say that you mix the flour with the water. I mean, it's not just flour, it's the flour with the yeast, with the salt, with everything else that's needed. But you mix that with water, knead it up, let it prove, shove it in the oven. Hey presto, you get bread. And what we did was put it in the bread maker. So it went in, it mixed up, it churned around, and then didn't really rise. So we kind of ended up a little bit of a bread pancake situation, but also we didn't realise that it hadn't mixed properly in the pan. So what we ended up with when we pulled it out was kind of bread at the bottom and then flour at the top. So in some places you could just scrape the flour off. In some places you kind of had to hack it off because, you know, there were big chunks of flour. And of course that can't then be reused for bread because it's gone through the heating process. It would have killed all the yeast or denaturised it or whatever it does. GCSE biology was a long time ago. So that's the update on the bread. We then cut the top off. The top or the bottom? No, it was the bottom. It was the bottom. We cut the bottom off and James put it in the oven, and what's actually happened is the middle has kind of cooked a little bit better, but the outside is now really, really crunchy. It's a really, really crunchy crust, and the inside still feels slightly doughy. It tastes slightly doughy, slightly yeasty. So we know for next time that we need to do things differently. And that's just, it's one of those things. It's not worth getting upset about. We tried it. We know to make moderations next time. Kind of like a microcosm of life, really, isn't it? So, yes, again, not really done much today. You saw me in the garden earlier. I have been trying to do editing, which has also been hideously funny because there was a problem transferring videos from my phone to the computer. And something on the computer was getting a bit confused with itself, and it altered the frame rate. So the videos I was editing, I sounded like I was a man, decidedly masculine. Or if you watch the news programmes where they say the voice has been distorted to protect the identity of the witness or the victim, it was that. Kind of sounded like I was in the witness protection programme. And it was very, very strange. James has now gone along and done something technical, worked out what the problem is. It's, I think, because he was running a program yesterday for his keyboard and I was running the video editing software, and something on the computer got confused about which one it was using and it mixed it all up, and it's all now fine. But yeah, me sounding like I was on witness protection, that's an interesting one. I think I've also found somewhere to buy the knitting needles to make the Fuss-Free Festival shawl. Wool Warehouse, and I was looking at Deramores yesterday because they're a website that I use, but none of the needles I wanted are in stock. But they've got reductions on yarn, so I was like, oh yes, cool, I could buy some more yarn. It's like, I don't need any more yarn. I certainly don't need any more sweater weights or sweated quantities of yarn. I just, no, this is not needed. This is not what is required at this time. But I was having a happy few moments doing a bit of window shopping. And one of the patterns that I have in my collection, which I have got here, is this one, which is called Tangerine by Ruth Maddock. So I think it's supposed to be quite a simple knit. If you look at the pattern there, this lacy pattern at the front apparently is all done with dropped stitches. And I thought, it's Yarn Stories yarn that it's knit with, and some of that is on sale on the Deramores website. It's like, fantastic, I could knit this sweater. Let's go on to Ravelry and see what other people think of it. That particular sweater has absolutely no projects. No projects listed against it on Ravelry, so I have no idea what anybody else thinks of it. I don't even know if anybody else has knit it. I assume they have. It would be very strange to have a magazine with one pattern that nobody has ever knitted. But yes, my idea of let's go and see what other people think of this kind of stymied. Also, this is I was going to say noteworthy Easter. I'm not sure if that's quite the right word. But because both James and I are currently not able to leave the house because he was feeling a bit sniffly at the beginning of the week. It's not COVID, but we're following the rules. This is going to be the first Easter without hot cross buns. This is really weird for me. Last year I went absolutely overboard on the hot cross buns. I bought a whole load from Marks and Spencer, especially the blueberry. The blueberry hot cross buns were just amazing. But that's not happened this year. Yeah, so that's kind of strange. That is kind of strange. Do you know what? If I'd known that I would have bought a whole load last year and left them in the freezer for this year. Just saying. And also it means it's going to be the first Easter without Easter eggs. It's just bizarre. I mean, we're hoping that when James goes out on Monday, because that Monday is his first day out into freedom, we are hoping that there will be shops nearby that are selling them off cheaply. I suspect they won't be. I know when I was a kid, you'd still have them out on Easter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or whatever at a reduced price to clear them off the shelves. Now it seems that all the reductions go out on Saturday and all of the eggs are off the shelves come Sunday and Monday. So we'll see. We will see. Because one thing I would love to be able to share with you is the best way to eat an Easter egg. Absolutely the best way, and I'm not having anybody telling me otherwise. But anyway, that's just, again, one of those things. First world problems. Absolute first world problems. Yesterday we had the clap for the NHS as well, which did leave me feeling kind of emotional. I don't know if our street has done it for the previous two. I've certainly not heard anything. But it was just after 8 o'clock yesterday, James and I heard a noise. And we're like, oh my gosh, yes, it's the NHS thing. We went rushing outside to do the clapping. And we've lived in this flat 7 years, and there are people standing outside their houses who I've never seen before. It was the first time I ever sort of been able to do the whole matching which person goes with which house. I mean, I know the people who live that way. I know the people who live that way. And I think I briefly spoke to the husband of the family that lives that way and then one over Christmas, because if you're at home over Christmas, you pick up lots of parcels, and that's pretty much the best way of getting to know your neighbours. But apart from that, I don't really know many people around here, and it was really lovely just to see everybody outside their houses, some of them looking a little bemused as to what was going on, but also seeing the people that way sort of saying goodnight and goodbye to the people across the road from them as they went into their respective houses. It was just like, and it's, to be honest, that's the first real feeling of community or solidarity I've got since the whole COVID-19 thing kicked off. So I'm kind of looking forward to that next week. I've looked up the sheet music for Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I don't think I'm going to be brave enough to play it out loud in public. I found two versions. One is in the key of E flat major, and the other one is in D major, I think. But the one it's either D or C. But anyway, that one is an octave too low for the recorder, or tin whistle, which are the two instruments I have that I've got a chance of playing. It's the right pitch for the violin. I also have a violin, but I'm rubbish at playing it. And if I'm going to do it, I would have to transpose that completely. And yeah, it might just be more effort than it's worth. I'm not even sure where I was going with that thought process. But I know the thing I observed. It was really weird that most of my music theory has completely gone. Whatever I learned, 15, 20 years ago now? Most of it has been forgotten. However, I do know that if a key has 3 flats, it's E flat major. I have no idea how I know that. I just do. So yeah, there you go. That's a summary of my day. Flats, sharps, leaves and some bread. Yeah, that's crunchy.